Once upon a time, there was a boy named Xander. And Xander was lying in bed one night waiting to drift off to sleep. And for some reason, he was having a really hard time falling asleep that night. He just laid there and waited, and he couldn't fall asleep. And after sitting there for what felt like hours, he was starting to wonder if he'd ever fall asleep. But then, all of a sudden, he felt his bed start to move. Back and forth and back and forth. If he didn't know any better, he would have thought he was floating around on the open sea or something. It felt like he was laying on a big, soft boat. So he sat up and he rubbed his eyes, looked over the edge of his bed, and expected to see his brother on the bunk below him. But instead, he saw water. It wasn't his imagination after all. Somehow, his bed was just floating around in the middle of the ocean. He quickly looked around, trying to figure out where he was, but he couldn't see land anywhere. He was all alone in the middle of nowhere, with only the waves to keep him company. So Xander started to get scared. He didn't know where he was or how he got there or how he was going to get home. And then, all of a sudden, a huge whale swam up right beside him. And he said,
"Hello, little boy. You seem to be lost. Where are you from and where are you going? Perhaps I can help you."
And Xander said, "Well, I don't know where I am. I'm from somewhere far away from here, but I don't know how I got here, how to get home. Can you help me, whale?" And the whale said,
"Ah, yes. Every now and then I see a little boy or girl just like you who's floating around in the ocean just like this. And to tell you the truth, I don't know why you guys come out here either. But if you want to get home, you need to go that way."
And he picked up his tail and pointed in one direction. And Xander said, "How am I supposed to go that way?" The whale said,
"Well, I can give you a little push so you can be on your way."
And Xander said, "Oh, well, that would be perfect. Thanks so much, whale." And then the whale said,
"All righty, little boy, are you ready? 1, 2, 3, and away we go!"
And he pushed Xander with his tail, and Xander waved back at the whale and said, "Thanks, whale. It was nice meeting you." And the whale said,
"Nice to meet you too."
And just like that, the whale was gone, and Xander was alone again. But this time, he was actually on his way to somewhere, but he still didn't know where. And a few minutes later, he thought he saw something way off on the horizon. It was just a little speck in the distance floating on the water. But as he kept watching it, he noticed it was getting bigger because it was coming right toward him. And as that thing got closer, Xander realized what it was. It was another bed with another kid floating on it, coming right at him. No, it couldn't be. Is that Elias? The closer he got, he realized that's exactly who it was. Elias was Xander's older brother, and as soon as they were within waving and shouting distance of each other, they both started waving their arms and yelling across the water, "Elias, is that you? What are you doing here? How did we get here? Where are we?" And Elias shouted back, "I don't know, Xander. I'm as confused as you are." And as soon as they got close enough, the two boys pulled their beds together and tied them together with their bed sheets. And then, all at the same time, they both saw something off in the distance. It was land. There was an island way out there in the distance. What could be on that island? Man, where were they? Both the boys knew exactly what they had to do. They put their hands in the water and started paddling as hard as they could. And they paddled and paddled and paddled until they finally reached the shore of a small, deserted tropical island. And they were so tired from paddling across the ocean that when they finally got to the beach, they just rolled off their beds and collapsed on the sand. But before long, they both looked up and saw someone standing on that beach, staring right at them. They weren't alone on this island after all. There was much more that this island had hidden that they were about to find out. But that's a story for another day.